growing up in his household was like growing up in his boot camp. And my father, he was infamous for one of his coaching philosophies, and that was no matter how hurt a player got on the field, they were not allowed to come out of the game. So one time in the middle of this American football match, this linebacker just gets smashed in the middle of the field. I mean, just devastated. And he wobbles to the sideline and he begs my dad to take him out of the game. And my dad grabs him by the face mask, clenched teeth, spitting through it. And he says, "Not unless you're showing bone." And he pulled back his shoulder pad, and out from his neck skin was sticking his collarbone. So anytime I got really sick and I begged my dad to stay home from school, he'd yell from the other side of the house, what? "Not unless you're showing bone," exactly. And I had to drag my sorry butt out to school. And so when I was age 4, he married my stepmonster. I don't know if that was going to translate, but I did not mispronounce that. And they went on to have 2 other children. And because in her eyes I was of the other woman, she didn't like me very much. And she did everything she possibly could to try to ostracize me from the family. So I really was what is called a redheaded stepchild. And you can also see that my father cut my hair, which I think I suffer more emotional trauma from than anything else. Now, I have to tell you, this morning I stand before you, having gone through this very dysfunctional childhood, is the reason why I can stand before you this morning as the very high-functioning achiever. And the reason is this: because I had to get over these issues of abandonment, is the reason why I am vigorously self-reliant. Because I grew up under a football coach for a father, is the reason why I am so driven and ambitious. Because you had to achieve to get any love or any attention from my father is also the reason why I am so goal-oriented and persistent. You see, a lot of people look at their past as wounds that they need to heal from, when in actuality, these are muscles that you developed that allow you to do the extraordinary things that ordinary people just can't do. How do you build a muscle, right? You put a muscle under incredible stress and strain, incredible stress and strain. When you do that, you're actually tearing the muscle. And in rest and recovery, it grows back bigger than it was before, so now you can lift heavier weights that you couldn't have before. So the first key message that I want to give you here today is, your adversity is your advantage. And that your past, whether you had a terrible childhood or whether you've suffered from some difficult experiences in life, you should cherish those as your advantage, because that was the training that gave you the muscle development to go do extraordinary things that ordinary people just can't do. So what I'm here to talk to you about is how to ignite the principles of the compound effect. How many people have read the book, The Compound Effect? Okay. So what I want to do is to try to help you ignite those principles, okay? To pull them out of the book, lay them before you, and give you a roadmap about how you can accomplish any goal that you have set for yourself. So we can take all the wonderful things that you learned this whole weekend, all the great aspirations, goals, and desires you've got, and then give you a plan so that you can achieve anything that you can conceive. So the question I'm asked a lot is why did I sit down to write this book? And when we took over Success Magazine and put it back on newsstand in 2008, I was looking at the culture around us and society and trying to figure out what's stopping people from being more successful. Why do people who have a sincere, passionate interest to learn what it takes to be successful, why are they not finding success? And the reason is this: we are constantly bombarded with an ever increasingly sensational marketing gimmickry with claims about how you can get rich, get fit, get younger, get sexier, all overnight with very little effort for only 3 easy payments of $39.95. And these commercial marketing gimmicks are taking people who really want to learn. I want to provide more for my family. I want to send my children to the great universities. I want to provide for a future for my parents. And they're pursuing these answers, and they're constantly being derailed and distracted, tricked, fooled, bamboozled. And so I decided I just wanted to clear the clutter, bring us back to the truth, demystify what it really takes to be successful. And so that's the reason why we sat down to create, let's just get back to the very foundation in which all success is built on top of. And here's the reality. There is no silver bullet. There's no magic pill. There's no friggin' secret that's been buried for 2,000 years by some covert society that's only been unearthed recently for worldwide revelation. So now you could just sit on your couch and imagine checks coming into your mailbox. Do that too long and they will come and take your couch and you off to a safe place where you can't hurt yourself or others, okay? No, there is no secret. Here is the truth. Success is earned. If you really want to know the secret of success, okay? I publish Success Magazine. I'm going to tell you right now the secret to success. Here it is. Success is earned by hard freaking work. Hard freaking work. If you ask the circle of champions up here, how did you do it? How did you get to the top? How did you become so successful? Their answers are always going to be 3 words: hard freaking work. There's no other way around it. If you've desired to be a circle of champion and you haven't achieved it, I'm telling you the only thing that's stopping you is not enough hard freaking work, okay? Now, the truth, if we want to talk about truth here, the truth about the process of earning, not winning, not arriving, but earning success, that process is in itself very mundane. When you go back home and you start building your ACN business, it's mundane. What you're going to do day in and day out is mundane. It is unexciting. Nobody's going to video film you and make a new fantastic reality TV show as you build your exciting new ACN business. No, it's unexciting. It's unsexy. No matter what the magazine articles look like, it's unsexy. The process is frustrating. And sometimes it's even gut-stomping, heart-crushingly defeating. But hey, that doesn't make for interesting books or exciting infomercials or riveting movies. So instead, we're paraded around with all these other visions of what it takes to be successful. But those are just shiny objects and not the truth. So I want you to truly, today, stop it. Stop looking for the quick fix for success, happiness, and wealth. There's no shortcut. There's no cliff notes. There's no quick fix. You are going to walk through a minefield day in and day out of hard freaking work, because success is earned one day at a time. Every day you lift your head up off the pillow, you're going to decide whether that day you are a success or whether you are a failure. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. One step at a time. Every step you take away from the bed as you walk through your day, you are either going in the direction of success or you're going in the direction of failure. It is one decision at a time. All day we're presented with hundreds of decisions, and every one of those decisions is like a chisel mark on a slab of marble. And at the end of the day, you're either going to end up with the David or you're going to end up with a pile of rubble, depending upon the decisions you've made throughout the day. It is one phone call at a time. You know, the phone call you didn't want to make, the one that makes you a little nervous, makes your palms sweaty. Every one of those phone calls is determining whether you will be a success. One meeting at a time. Remember, Donald Trump said yesterday, the meeting he didn't want to go to, That one meeting changed his entire future. Every single meeting you decide to or decide not to go to determines your future. And in the end, you can never own success. I congratulate the Circle of Champions, but do not stagnate too long in your victory, because you can never own success. You can only rent it. And the rent is due every single day. Circle of Champions, tomorrow you better get up and get after it all over again. So it's never in totality. Now, how many of you have ever been to a personal development seminar or read a book or read the back of a CD program and it said, transformational results in 90 days or less, and at the end of 90 days, you didn't have transformational results? Anybody have that experience? Yeah, me too. Well, what's wrong? What happened? Well, here's the reality. It is not what you know that determines the results in your life. See, that is a myth. Knowledge is not power. It is the potential of power, but it is not power in and of itself. Power is only created in what you do with what you know. Look, there are a lot of really smart people who are geniuses, who are broke, because knowledge is not something you can take to the bank. It is only action that produces results. In America, we've got this statistic. 44% of doctors who tell you how poor eating and lack of exercise will kill you, and these people, 44% of them are overweight. Or as the philosopher Morpheus said, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So as I give you this morning, I'm going to reveal to you the fundamental keys to success. When I give them to you, I don't want you to say inside your head, oh, I already know that. Instead, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1 is, are you doing that? Because you might know it, and you've known it for a long time, but are you doing it? And the second question is, maybe you're doing it, but have you mastered it? In other words, is there still something in which you can level yourself up to get better at it so that now that might ignite the results in your life? And the third most important question is, you might know it, you might be doing it, but would your results prove that you've mastered it? In other words, would your waistline prove that you've mastered these principles? Would your business prove that you've mastered these principles? If we called your spouse and asked them, have they indeed mastered these principles of success? And if you're saying to yourself, well, just don't call my spouse, you see, there's still something here yet to learn. Because as Samuel Johnson said, people need to be reminded more often than they need to be instructed. So even if I just take some of the things you already know in the back of your mind, bring them to the front of your mind, clear all the rest of the clutter out, and make it clear, step by step, exactly what you've got to do, now maybe what you know applied can ignite the results that you've always been capable of achieving, but got too distracted and were too inconsistent to follow through with. I want to give you the operating system underneath which all success is built on top of. It's kind of like this. You could take the world's greatest software, designed by the greatest engineers in the world, tens of millions of dollars invested in it, and if you take that software and you install it on a computer that has a faulty operating system, what happens? It's buggy, it crashes, doesn't operate to its potential. Now the user might make the mistake of thinking, oh, I know what happened. It's that terrible software. The software's the problem. No, it was the operating system that was the problem. So this is what happens. People go to a seminar, they read a book, they listen to a CD program, and then it doesn't work. It's buggy, it crashes. And they make the mistake of going, oh, that book, that seminar didn't work. No. It was just installed on a crappy operating system, and that's why it was buggy and it crashed and it didn't operate to its potential. So what we